Yeah, they're confusing trust law with contract law or equity law. As you said before, you mentioned the two laws, the civil and the common, but there's also equity law or contract law. And so with contract law, there's no requirement for anyone to provide disclosure, you see. Um, in, and in particular in regard to birth certificates and the business that they are carrying on behind the scenes, they're not required to tell you that. You see, so if you belligerently make statements about, here's my schedule of fees, and if you use my name, which is copyrighted, etc., you can't copyright the name. You see, I can't copyright Santo Bonacci really in their system. They will not acknowledge it. You can do it, you can try doing it, and you can think that it's a protection, but it's not, because you can't copyright a name that they have. Well, they've registered it for a start. So, in a sense, they own that name. So when you go making claims about that name, you're already creating a controversy, and they know that. They're going to get you. If you start saying, "Oh, that's my name, you can't use that." Well, the truth of the matter is that you yourself cannot use that name in such a way to identify. No one can use that name to identify you as a flesh blood human being. Those documents are non-identifiable. So, and the government knows this, you see. Well, judges do, that's for sure. A judge will never say to you, what is your name for the record? And you turn around and you say, my name's Johnny Guzman. And then he turns around and says, well, can you show me your birth certificate to prove that? Because that never happens in court. The reason why is because they can't use the birth certificate to identify you. It's non-identifiable. So really, they're getting away with fraud by using that name too. But they do it carefully. You see, they don't ask you to prove who you are. They just say, "What's your name?" and hope that your name turns out to be the same as the name on those papers. And then their next presumption is they're hoping that you are going to talk to that name and give it life, because that name's dead. It's just a corpse, or, in other words, a corporation. Same thing, dead paper. So if you walk in there and the judge says, "Oh yeah, well, what's your name, please?" He's just hoping that one of us, one of the two parties, is going to be dumb enough to identify themselves with that name, which is fraud. So the moment you've committed fraud, he's happy. He just sits back then and just goes, "Oh, great. Right, this is going to be easy now. I can just get away with anything. Jail, fines," and he will be the beneficiary. He's turned the tables on you. You've become the trustee. He's become the beneficiary. So now he's going to benefit because he's going to pocket all that cash you give him, and he's going to go off and spend it. Because when you go to jail, the time you spend in jail has a commercial dollar figure attached to it. For every minute you spend in jail, there's a ratio of cash that they make. So it's a business, and that's clearly evident by the fact that many people who are in jail are not true criminals. They've gone into jail over civil matters, which does not constitute them as criminals, and say 90% of people that are in jail are actually not criminals. They're just in there to pay the lawyers and criminals that have managed to find a way to get them in there so that they can have cash in their pockets, because they make money on those bonds, on those court cases, which are just constructive trusts. Every court case is a constructive trust. You see, it's all something. It's all something to do with the stock market and making money and banking. So so it benefits them, and it also benefits you in the negative.